Hey everybody, Ben here with Diesel Power Products. It's a beautiful day out here in North Idaho. We took 007 out. We found some snow. We were sort of expecting it, sort of weren't, but it's time for an overview on what this truck is and why we love it so much. So this is a 2007 Dodge Ram with a 5.9 common rail crew cab short bed. We got this truck quite a while ago and kind of sat dormant because we weren't sure quite what we were going to do with it yet, but then we came up with a plan. And the goal with this thing was originally, like way originally, was to be a TRX Killer. We wanted this to be a Dodge Ram that was going to stomp TRXs. And honestly, I think it's going to hold, I think it holds its own when it comes down to that, especially for a diesel. But the goal with this morphed into, and this is where the TRX part comes from, we wanted 700 horsepower as clean as could be. And I don't mean like, oh, it cleans up a little bit. I mean, clean, cleaner than stock even. And we accomplished that. If you watch some of the older videos, this thing made, I think it was 710 horsepower to the wheels with less opacity or less smoke than stock. You heard that right. This thing makes over double the horsepower and makes less smoke than stock. It's amazing. I highly recommend you go watch that video, but let's talk about what we did to make this truck actually do that. This truck has got a really nice wheel and tire package on there, but suspension really sets it off. So we've got some 38-inch 13.5 on 17-inch fuel wheels on there. These are trail grapplers. They're one of our favorite tires. Pretty much all of our trucks have them, but it's a very good wheel and tire package, and it's very well controlled by this Carli Unchained kit. You heard that right. It's a Carli Unchained kit. This is the big bad boy suspension system. It's got a long arm on there. It's got a torque and sway bar. It's got the king shots. It's got bypasses on there. This thing is ready to rock. And it does. It puts a smile on your face, rides real smooth, handles whatever you're gonna throw at it with ease. So good job, Carli. This kit absolutely rocks. One of my favorite things about this truck, and I may say one of my favorite a lot of times is because this truck is my favorite, but is the power plant on this thing. As we mentioned before, the goal is 700 horsepower absolutely clean. We absolutely did that and we nailed it. And the big reason of that is three things: the injectors, the turbo, and the tuning on here. Let's start with the injectors. These are Dynamite Diesel 120 horse injectors. And you may be thinking to yourself, how in the world did you manage to get a truck to run cleaner than stock with a set of 120 horse injectors? Well, Lenny and his team at Dynamite Diesel are doing brand new things that no one's ever done before to injectors. To give you an idea of it, the duration on this is the least you would ever see on any sort of injector on the market to make this amount of horsepower. This injector turns on and shuts off faster than any other injector out there, which means excellent atomization. And that's where you get the nice power and the clean power. And that's all fed through a set of BD Cobra compounds on there. It's a 61 with a 76. That means that 61 SXE style turbo on there lights up super quick. And as soon as that thing starts to peter out, that 76 comes through, smacks it all in the face, and everything just works great. And to make that work even better, it's got a Hamilton 188-220 cam in there. You ever driven one of those cams? You know, it gets things moving very nice. The next thing that brought it all together was the tuning. We went to Calibrated Power for this, and we actually did a live tuning session with them on Lenny's hub dyno at his house. And to say that we were all shocked was an understatement. We managed to, and we had the green machine that the California Air Resource Board has that measures opacity at the tailpipe. We have that same machine, or Lenny has that same machine. We were measuring it the entire time. We were able to make 710 horsepower, and it ran cleaner than this truck did from the factory. Full stop. You heard that right. Again, my favorite thing about that truck, and because that tuning was so dialed in, you can drive this truck normally. Normal throttle input, drives very smooth, very linear, but if you punch it, it's party time. This thing absolutely gets down. It's a nice, smooth, linear power curve, and it just wants to go and go and go. And that's one thing I love about compounds, and that's something that I'm really happy with the Dynamite injectors and that Calibrated Power tuning. It is a match made in heaven. Totally love it. As far as the fuel supply side, it has an in-tank fleece pump, and it's got a fleece 10 mil pump on there as well. This thing has absolutely enough fuel to basically handle whatever it needs to on there. One of the other unsung heroes on this truck is the BD competition intake manifold. If you've never seen one of these before, it basically takes that entire intake plenum off. Instead of breathing through a hole that big, it opens up the entire plenum for that entire intake manifold. It's a fantastic kit, and it really increases the volume of air you can get in that truck without actually having to cut anything off the head. Also, you have to run a 6.7 rail on there. So we have a 6.7 Cummins fuel rail on there with the fuel oil pressure sensor, but everything else stays the same as far as the injectors and feed tubes and all that kind of good stuff. Really cool kit by BD. Super stoked to have them on this. We also have an upgraded Banks intercooler on here because, again, it's usable horsepower, and usable horsepower is we're going to need EGT control. Oh, I forgot to mention, on that 710 horsepower run, EGTs never got above 1100. The EGTs never got above 1100. It's amazing, I love it. This truck is dialed in, it works perfectly, and I am so happy to be able to drive this thing on a semi-regular basis. Lucky to have the job I do. As far as externally goes, it's got a fantastic big bad boy bumper on there with some Baja lights. It's got a Warren winch in there, factor 55 fair lead. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It gets looks everywhere it goes. And in my opinion, with that color match on there, it's just the right amount of, catch your eye, but still unassuming. And that's nice because as soon as someone unassumes it, you just lay into it and you just blow right past them. And you don't leave a trail of smoke. The future is here, my friends. It is fantastic and I love it. Forgot to mention, Dynatrac free spin kit. This one was not an onion of deception. This one did not try and kill us like the Mega Cab did. This one actually went well. So, if you like what you see here and you want to hear more about the truck, we actually have a 10-part series on our YouTube channel. Check it out. From the beginning to the end, it's all right there. This is an evolving project. It's going to continue to kind of move on and see what we can do with it and have fun with it. But I appreciate all you guys for watching. Make sure and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.